a marathon match. And of course, Siegemund was playing those tactical games. You know, she was time wasting a little bit. She was, getting a little bit agitated, getting the umpire involved. She does all those things. And Eala, mentally strong throughout, just kept her cool and just played the game. And that's what she did very, very well in this one, which could have easily gone to Siegemund. I mean, again, like I said, chances were there. But let me know in the comments below. How's Eala going to do against potentially Swiatek? Because
there's to be no escape act in the second set for Lara Siegemund. Terrific point.
Eala has just delivered one of the most emotionally charged and mentally resilient performances of her young career, taking down Laura Siegemund in a dramatic 3-set battle at the Miami Open 2026. This wasn't just a tennis match. It was a true test of composure, patience, and mental fortitude against one of the most controversial rhythm-breaking players on the tour. From the opening points, it was evident this encounter would be anything but straightforward. Eala arrived fully prepared, not only for the physical rallies but also for the intense psychological warfare that often accompanies facing Siegemund. Known for pushing the boundaries of time rules, disrupting flow with deliberate delays, and frequently involving officials in disputes, Siegemund attempted to transform the match into one of her signature mental endurance contests. Early in the first set, Eala appeared to be the superior player on the court. She was sharp, composed, and confidently dictating the rallies with precision and aggression. However, Siegemund soon deployed her disruptive tactics, repeated pauses, complaints about crowd movement, and unusually prolonged service preparations. The natural rhythm of the match was constantly interrupted, and every time Eala began building real momentum, something would halt it abruptly. What could have been a dominant set devolved into a frustrating, stop-start affair. Despite being outplayed in long stretches, Siegemund successfully dragged the set to a tiebreak. Then, capitalizing on the broken tempo she had engineered, she stole the set in classic fashion. It was a pivotal moment that could have rattled even seasoned competitors, let alone a young rising star. But the drama only intensified at the start of the second set. Just as play was set to resume, Siegemund abruptly took an extended bathroom break, remaining off the court for approximately 12 minutes. The perfectly timed interruption once again disrupted Eala's hard-earned rhythm and cooled the entire atmosphere of the match. This was precisely the kind of scenario where many players would lose focus, succumb to frustration, or even unravel emotionally. This is exactly where Eala demonstrated her exceptional mental strength. Rather than reacting with anger or complaints, she calmly reset herself. She avoided any arguments, refused to let irritation take control, and returned to the court with renewed focus, poise, and determination. The second set turned into a powerful statement of intent. Eala declined to let the delays derail her and immediately began dictating play from the opening games. She controlled the tempo, attacked with confidence, and remained fully locked into her own game rhythm. Siegemund attempted to slow things down once more, but this time her efforts fell flat. Point by point, game by game, Eala applied relentless pressure and seized full control. Staying disciplined throughout, she capitalized on critical moments and closed out the set 6-3. The momentum had shifted decisively, and for the first time, Siegemund appeared to have no answers left. Entering the third set, the contest had evolved beyond pure tennis. It had become a grueling test of endurance and unbreakable mental resolve. Could Eala sustain her composure amid ongoing disruptions? The response was unmistakable right from the opening games. Eala had clearly decoded Siegemund's playbook. She remained unflappable through extended games, countless deuces, and repeated attempts to shatter her concentration. Siegemund tried again to draw in the umpire, lodging complaints about spectators entering the stands and claiming distractions, but the officials refused to indulge it this time. They saw the pattern clearly, and more importantly, Eala refused to let any of it penetrate her focus. She stayed riveted on each point by point, never allowing herself to be pulled into the unnecessary drama. As the match pushed beyond the 3-hour mark, every game turned into a pure battle of patience and willpower. Siegemund persisted in stretching the time between points, but Eala matched her endurance without ever wavering. She stayed disciplined, bided her time for opportunities, and when those chances arrived, she seized them decisively. Mirroring her second set dominance, Eala broke through at the decisive moments, sealing another 6-3 set to claim the match and complete a stunning comeback victory. It was a triumph forged not only through skill but through extraordinary mental toughness. The instant the final point landed, Eala unleashed a thunderous victory cry, a raw release of the immense pressure and restraint she had bottled up for over 3 grueling hours. She had held everything in check, and now it all poured out. On the other side of the net, Siegemund's reaction spoke volumes. After devoting the entire match to controlling the tempo through delays and interruptions, she offered only a cursory, half-hearted handshake before departing the court. There was no real acknowledgement of the epic battle, just visible frustration and defeat. This pattern is not unfamiliar for Siegemund. Tennis fans have witnessed similar scenes before, including her highly controversial encounter with Coco Gauff at the US Open. In that match, there were repeated delays, time violations, and heated arguments with officials. The crowd saw through the tactics then, and history appeared to repeat itself here in Miami. Back then, she cited referee and audience bias against her as an excuse. Laura Siegemund, clearly shaken by the loss, broke down in tears during her press conference. She attempted to frame herself as the victim, claiming it wasn't just the crowd but also her opponent who had wronged her. In a bid for sympathy, she tried to reshape the narrative. But the truth was already plain for all to see. Coco had previously called out the unfair tactics from both Siegemund and the umpire, laying bare the real story.
Less than a zero because they treated me bad. Like, they treated me like I was a cheater, like I was like trying, sneaky ways to win this match or something. They treated me like I was a bad person. But there are people who are throwing rackets, who are screaming, who are like making bad gestures.
The crucial difference this time around was Eala's response. She refused to be pulled into the drama. She never lost her composure. Instead, she let her tennis speak louder than any words. In the end, despite Laura Siegemund's efforts to cast herself as the victim, the reality was undeniable. Eala exposed the manipulative tactics Laura had employed throughout the match, and the crowd was not deceived. Laura's persistent attempts to slow momentum and disrupt Eala's rhythm were obvious to everyone watching. When she argued with the umpire about unfair treatment, it only underscored her growing desperation. Despite Laura's push to portray herself as the wronged party, Eala stood resolute, not only securing the victory on court but also upholding integrity and fairness in the process. Laura Siegemund's bid to manipulate the situation ultimately backfired spectacularly, and it was evident the audience had aligned firmly with Eala. This victory carries weight far beyond just advancing to the next round. At such a young age, Eala displayed a maturity and mental resilience that eludes even many veteran players. She fully understood the challenge ahead, anticipated the disruptions, and prepared herself to withstand them without faltering. That level of composure under relentless pressure is what distinguishes good players from truly great ones. Moving forward in the Miami Open, Eala now carries more than a single win. She carries unshakable confidence, deep self-belief, and an emerging reputation as one of the tour's mentally toughest competitors. The path ahead remains challenging, but displays like this prove she is more than ready to meet it head-on. Eala didn't merely win this match, she proved she belongs among the elite on the biggest stages, and if she maintains this mindset, she has the potential to exceed even the highest expectations. In the final analysis, this match will be remembered as far more than a second-round result. It was a defining moment that highlighted Eala's mental toughness, discipline, and maturity on one of tennis's premier stages, against an opponent renowned for testing patience and disrupting rhythm. Eala didn't just endure, she adapted, stayed composed, and elevated herself above it all. Performances of this caliber forge champions. If she continues to handle high-stakes pressure with such control, there's no question this marks only the start of something extraordinary. The Miami Open still has many rounds ahead, but one truth stands out. Eala has made her presence felt, and the entire tennis world is paying close attention. What did you think of this intense battle between Eala and Laura Siegemund? Do you believe Siegemund's tactics crossed the line, or were they simply part of the competitive game? And how impressed were you with Eala's composure, especially at such a young age, staying calm under constant pressure and still emerging victorious? Could this serve as a turning point in her career at the Miami Open? And do you see her pushing even deeper into the tournament after a display like this? Let me know your thoughts below. Was this just another win or the arrival of a future star?